So good morning and welcome back for another session of Sociology class for grade 12. So for today's session, we will be focusing on interactionism. So the interactionist perspective is a generic or simply a family name that is normally given to a group of sociological perspective, which consists of three main variations, namely phenomenology, symbolic interactionist and ethnomethodology. Donc, perspective de interactionist, il consistait de trois main sociological perspectives. Premier, nous avons phenomenology, deuxième, symbolic interactionist et troisième, ethnomethodology. So all these three combined together, then we have the interactionist perspective. So not all textbooks refers to this group as interactionism, but simply as social action theory. Donc, il y a dans un livre que je peux faire remarque qui je peux trouver une interactionist perspective, mais je peux trouver qu'il y a une social action theory. C'est la même chose. Okay? So interactionism is a micro-level theory that focuses on the relationship among individuals within the society. They believe that communication is the best way in which people make sense of their social world. Donc, pour interactionnisme, notre main focus, c'est relation entre un individu dans la société. Et surtout, je mets l'emphase côté communication, parce que par rapport à communication en termes de langage avec symbole, c'est par rapport à communication même qui ben dit make sense of the world in which they are living. They tend to understand the world better. So in general, interactionist perspectives tend to concentrate upon relatively small level of social interaction. Donc, pour interactionist, it focus plus côté a small scale level of social interaction. Donc, the focus est plutôt côté interaction that is between the individual and small social groups. Je ne vais pas étudier la société en gros, comment functionaliste ou bien conflict structuralism faire, mais pour eux, c'est tout simplement, the main focus, c'est le social interaction between individuals and a small group of people. And for this reason, they are sometimes referred to as a micro level of sociological analysis. So the basic ideas of interactionist sociologists are they tend to focus upon the way in which people, that is, social actors, they act consciously in the society, rather than simply react to social stimulation. So in this way, different social actors interpret the behavior of others, and thus it is a means through which we tend to understand how the social world is socially constructed. This social construction of the world is focused upon how people tend to give meanings to behavior and the way in which they tend to interpret the meaning of behavior. Donc, pour interactionnisme, ben individu, c'est tout simplement ben social actors. Comme on peut que social actors, c'est tout simplement before an individual behave in a certain way, that individual will take into consideration of the behavior of others, and then the individual is going to behave accordingly. This is the way in which how the world is socially constructed. Donc, pour ben interactionist, ben individu, c'est tout simplement ben social actors of the society. Et avant qu'il nous us as social actors, before we behave in a certain way with an individual, we tend to take into consideration the behavior of others. Then we are going to behave accordingly based on the other people's other individual behavior. Fait qu'on va dire une personne, at the very start, the first time you meet the person is really nice to you. So how are you going to behave towards that person? You are going to behave in the same way with the person. Okay? C'est par rapport à ça même qui nous dit que ben individus sont ben social actors. They act based on the specific situation they are in. Et aussi, interactionist limite l'emphase qui c'est par rapport à sa type of behavior, la façon de behave, c'est par rapport à ça même qui fait nous dire que this world is socially constructed. That is, in society, we accept certain type of behavior because such type of behavior has been created and has been accepted by people in society. And this tend to continues afterward. Okay? C'est ça qui fait nous dire que le monde est socially constructed. Quand nous causons social construction, c'est tout simplement une idée qui est créée par un individu et aussi qui est acceptée par un individu. Du moment qu'il nous accepte, il est là, from generation to generation, we tend to accept the same thing. C'est ça qui nous dit une social construction. Now, in terms of interpretation of behavior, let's take, for example, let's have an overview, of how people tend to interpret meaning in the society. Par exemple, en termes de interpretation of meaning in the society, par exemple, fait comme dire, you're waiting to cross the road at some traffic light. And if the light is red, quand la lumière là, est rouge d'un robot, what is the first thing that you think about, that you have to stop? Du moment l'hiver qui un l'auto est capable de cross the traffic light. Make as if you're waiting to cross the road at some traffic light if the light is red, but there is a car that has gone through the traffic light. So what is going to be your first interpretation? Your first interpretation in terms of behavior, c'est tout simplement que from behalf of the car, it is wrong parce que c'est dangereux ou même illégal parce que la personne concernée has break the rule. He was not supposed to cross the road at the red light. Okay? C'est sa première interprétation de cette part. Mais mettons dans la même situation, but this time it is the police who has gone through the red traffic signal, and then it may be that it is understandable that we assume that the police officer in the car may have a very good reason for acting in such a way. Ok? Donc, c'est ça une interprétation de la part de ben individu. Comment on dit ça? Ok? Donc, pour interactionist, qui fait nous associer the red light with stop. Okay, c'est tout simplement parce que we have been socialized to make an association that a red light actually means to stop us. Okay? Qui fait est-ce qu'un traffic light quand il est rouge veut dire qu'un driver they have to stop. C'est tout simplement parce que we have been socialized like this in the society we are living in. But imagine a society where there is no car. Donc pour ban là, the association of red with stop, ça n'a pas même existé. It would not have stopped. Okay? C'est ça interpretation of behavior. C'est par rapport à la société dans qui nous pouvons vivre ou bien tout simplement comment nous socialiser pour interpréter certaines affaires dans la société. Next we have George Mead study on the me and I aspect. Okay, so George Mead is the founding father of Interactionism, and he focuses on the me and I aspect. So Mead argued that while we are each conscious, thinking individuals, the way in which we choose to behave is conditioned by the social context of that behavior. Ça veut dire la façon dont nous décidons pour behave, c'est tout simplement dans la situation actuellement qui nous était. Okay? So in this, he said that our behavior as individual is conditioned by two aspects of our self-awareness. We have the I aspect, which consist of spontaneous actions and beliefs. And then we have the me aspect, which consists of an awareness of how other people expect us to behave at a given moment. So the I and me are parallel parts of what Mead called the self, and it is the ability of human being to develop a self-concept that makes us different to most animals. Okay? Donc, according to interactionists, ça veut dire Mead, an individual has two aspects. The individual has the I aspect and the me aspect. So when we're talking about the me aspect c'est tout simplement comment ben les autres expect me to behave, what type of behavior people expect from me. So these expectations from other people will shape the behavior of the individual. But based on the response to the me self, the I will represent the individual's identity on how he will see himself. Ok? Donc, on peut cause lo me. Me, c'est tout simplement comment ben les autres gens expect moi-même, comment me supposé behave. Ok? Là, qu'on peut cause lo the I aspect. Fait comment dire une personne trouve moi-même comment un teacher. So, how am I supposed to behave in a class? C'est tout simplement I am supposed to be behaving as a teacher. Mais pas comment un élève, such as being disobedient ou bien studying or not understanding the concept, what is happening in the class. So, me as a teacher, I will have to behave as a teacher. C'est ça the I aspect. Another concept of interactionism is the labeling theory. So another key idea of interactionism is the idea of labeling. The concept is defined by sociologist Robert K. Merton as a self-fulfilling prophecy. So Merton explained that with a self-fulfilling prophecy, even a false idea can become true if it is acted on. So the labeling theory focuses that self-identity and the behavior of individuals may be influenced by the term used to describe or classify them. It is associated with the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy and stereotyping. In terms of stereotyping, the labeling theory argues when we name something as categorizing people as male or female, we tend to associate the name with a certain set of characteristics which are expected to guide their behavior. And these characteristics tend to influence our behavior and attitude to the labeled person. Donc, un des benki idea de interactionist, c'est the idea of labeling. Because the labeling, c'est quoi? C'est tout simplement type étiquette qui nous donne une personne. Ok? Basé sur cette étiquette là, si un individu, make as if I'm taking the case of education là. Dans une classe, je connais qu'il y a beaucoup de professeurs qui comptent label, qui habituent label des enfants. C'est stéréotype des enfants. Et dans les enfants, je gagne the label as being mischievous ou bien lazy. Ou bien capable de professeur label des enfants as being a failure. Make as if a teacher tells a student that he will be failing at the end of the year, end of the academic year, and really the child end up failing, c'est sa self-fulfilling prophecy. C'est par rapport à sa étiquette qui me donne ces enfants-là. Ces enfants-là, ils commencent à identifier lui-même par rapport à sa étiquette me donne lui-là. Ça veut dire qu'ils trouvent une de ses identity, c'est as being a failure. Ok? C'est pour cela qu'il nous dit que labeling joue un grand rôle par rapport à self-identity. Quand un jimoun li affecté par self, quand li affecté par labeling, ça veut dire ce self-identity aussi li affecté. Et li la même, li start to behave based on the label that has been given to that individual. Et li la même, li lead to self-fulfilling prophecy. Par exemple, nous sommes capables, en termes de labeling, nous sommes capables de catégoriser Benjamin en termes de male and female. Et quand nous pouvons catégoriser un groupe de personnes as male and female, ça veut dire que nous avons une certaine idée par rapport à comment when male are supposed to behave and how female are supposed to behave. Make as if I will always tell a boy that he is mischievous. Ça veut dire qu'il must trouve lui-même as being mischievous. And throughout his lifetime, maybe he will be behaving in a certain way. Bien fait, comme je nous dire qu'il n'est pas supposé participate in outdoor activities, mais it is preferable for a girl to stay indoor. Donc, Tiffy là, il peut commencer à adopter sa façon de penser là, et il peut trouver lui-même par rapport à ça même qui nous dit self-identity.